Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Jurisprudence, Dawg Knight.
Hi there.
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday. TGIF, everyone. Depending on your week. Hope you all have a good Friday so far, and you have a good weekend ahead of you. For those of you wondering, Satsu was threatened with divorce if he didn't take the night off.
Oh.
And I will read that exchange momentarily. Thank you so much, tall person. That's very generous of you. Happy National Cooking Day, everybody. Well, I'm a lazy bachelor, so I did not participate today. But maybe I'll try to tomorrow. Did you guys do any cooking today, individually or otherwise?
I made ramen this morning.
Well, that's a kind of cooking, I suppose. Dawg?
I had to cook it on the stove, so.
Yeah, okay.
I made eggs and sausage this morning. So, yes, I did cook breakfast.
Well, there you go. As far as what happened to Satsu, so he asked me specifically to read this exchange from our private DMs. And so Satsu says, so my wife says Lords of the Night or staying married. So yeah, I'll be there on time tonight, but I'm going to need a place to stay. And I said, take the night off, spend some time with the family. It's cool. He's like, yeah, we're going to hang out tonight. Please read to the chat this exchange. LOL. Despite that though, guys, there will be a raft stream tonight on 2 Cents Plus with Ranting Monkey and Satsu. So after this, you can go watch them game on 2 Cents Plus. Thank you, Tack Alpaca, for the Dog Cat Fox. How's it going? It goes all right. I had a relatively sedate day. I'll get to myself here momentarily, but Monkey, how are you?
Not too bad. I had a decent sleep and rested sleep, so I feel pretty good. And Peanut is doing much better, so I worry off my mind. So I'm pretty good, thanks.
Yay, Peanut. And thank you, Pikal, the Driving Ape Man. Satsu, your new voice is so velvety.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much.
And P-Dog, I'm pretty sure you had a pretty good day. Tell everybody why.
Well, I finally hit that 1,000 subscriber threshold today, which was fantastic.
Yay!
That's awesome, man.
Yay!
Congrats.
So
Congrats.
Yeah, it's cool. It's one of those benchmarks where things start happening, I guess. So we'll see how that goes.
Well earned, sir, as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And Lady Boomer's out of town, so that makes it easier for me to be on Lords of the Night tonight.
Oh yeah, and thanks again to you for short notice coming on, because I was kind of like, it was literally like about an hour before the show. Satsu says he's going to spend the night with the family. I'm like, oh okay. Hey, P-Dog, you busy? Like, no. All right, yay. So thanks for showing up and filling in for Satsu. And congratulations on the whole 1,000 subs. That's great. It's always nice to get that kind of recognition. And speaking of which, guys, if you are not currently watching P-Dawg Night, link to his channel is in the description. If you're not subscribed, do go over there and think about it and help out and bolster his gains for the day. Thank you, Snubbers. I see we replaced the diversity hire. Yes, that was the wholeness of my motivation for inviting P-Dawg. You got me, boy. You caught me.
Always got to be one. Always got to be one.
I know. I watched so many TEDx's, and they just had completely brainwashed me. It's like, I need to have to. Okay. Well, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already. And I see several of you haven't, because you're waiting to see if it's actually worthwhile, and I promise you it is. And please share our stuff. Share it far wide, sideways, and otherwise, as we can all attest, and the most small can. You guys are our best algorithm. If you like the content that you see, let people know that you like it, because YouTube usually doesn't. And we appreciate everything you guys do to help us out. I forgot, for myself, I just had a very calm, boring day. I did work, and work was easy. No catastrophes or anything, no technical problems, thank goodness.
Why you say that out loud? You know they're going to call you in 3 minutes now.
shush you. Well, I hope not. I'm not trying to jinx, but I'm just saying, like, I got to tell the truth. I don't know.
It was just a decent day. Leave it at that. Don't jinx it.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah. And then tomorrow I get to hang out with my sister in the morning and do our quasi bi-weekly like breakfast and catch up and shopping kind of deal. So that'll be fun. But yeah, that's it for me. So anything else, guys, or shall we get into the wonderful world of the schnuzz?
Schnuzz away.
News is fine. Let's do it.
All right. Well, the biggest story of the day is the still not official, but almost certainly kind of confirmed announcement. A lot of places had to change their headlines because they were talking with a certitude that wasn't actually official yet. Sources, Trump intends to nominate Amy Coney Barrett for Supreme Court. Thank you, Angry Illinoisian. I say the thumbnail was worth my $5 for you. Well, yeah, I was telling P-Dog before the stream, like doing the thumbnails lately, in the absence of having any inspiration to like write anymore, or at least for the time being, doing the silly Photoshop thumbnails for the shows is my favorite creative outlet. Although a slightly stressful one, because as each show comes upon me, I'm like, what haven't I done lately? Or what can I do that I actually have some material to work with? And yeah, Monkey and Satsu have been just raving over this Medieval Dynasty game. And I was like, sure, why not? And thankfully there were at least enough faces on there. And I found a version of the artwork that didn't have the titles on it. And there you go. And I'm somewhere in that thumbnail for those of you watching in the future, if you can actually blow the thumbnail up from where you are. I'm just not easily found, so it's a Where's Waldo situation. Thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people, Lawton and P-Dog. Hello, Kyle. But anyway, onwards into the news. President Donald Trump intends to choose Amy Coney Barrett to be the new Supreme Court justice, according to multiple senior Republican sources with knowledge of the process. In conversations with some senior Republican allies on the Hill, the White House is indicating that Barrett, a federal appellate judge and Notre Dame law professor, is it Notre Dame or Notre Dame?
I've always said Notre Dame because I'm not French.
That's true. And neither am I, because I never surrender. Oh, wait. Is the intended nominee, multiple sources said. Thank you, Failure B. Here's my monthly donation. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And Officer Buck, thank you. The thumbnail is like a comic book cover, has nothing to do with what's inside, and some of the characters don't appear in said comic. Kind of. I mean, the theme for next Tuesday will be very much on point because I still have my artwork that I did for the various debates of the past. So I'll be using our debate thumbnail for debate night. So I don't have to work too hard on that one. Do we know when those start? Is it like 8 p.m.?
No, I haven't checked. I'll check it out.
Okay, because whenever they start, we're going to be going live, hopefully about a half hour beforehand to do a pregame show, and then write out the majority of the debate unless or until it becomes boring, which hopefully it won't ever, given the circumstances, but you never know. So that's the tentative plan.
Reportedly, Donald Trump said that it's going to be like an MMA fight. So
yeah, exactly.
We'll all debates are scheduled to take place from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. So we will start on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time to do a quick warm up and get everybody oriented to whatever outlet we're looking at to actually watch the debate. We won't be streaming the debate live because obviously copyright issues, but we'll try to sync up with everyone watching so that we can all be on the same page. Anyway, that programming note aside, all sources caution that until it is announced by the president, there is always the possibility that Trump makes a last-minute change, but the expectation is Barrett is the choice. He is scheduled to make the announcement on Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. It's not retreat, is, as they say, strategic withdrawal, no?
No, it was retreat several times.
Yeah. A former law clerk to the late right-wing beacon, Justice Antonin Scalia, Barrett would tilt the balance of power in the court further to the right, possibly ahead of a consequential case on health care to be argued the week after Election Day. Is the court as right as they say they are? It is, given Roberts' several decisions in recent years.
It's not as right as they say it is, but it is definitely right.
Sure.
And getting her on there would definitely make it more so.
Yeah.
Because right now, it was seen as a 5-4 majority, but there was a lot of times that Roberts went with the liberals, so it was actually pretty balanced until Ginsburg died.
Well, and even Kavanaugh has shown signs that he's not always going to be in that ideological right position all the time.
Sure.
So it's right to the people complaining. It's basically it's the Proud Boys on the court.
Yes.
Jeez.
Oh God.
Well put.
It doesn't matter. It's their right-wing extremists who commit to all those people.
Let's see. Would tilt the balance of power on the court further to the right, possibly ahead of a consequential case on health care to be argued the week after Election Day. If her Senate confirmation is successful before the November election, the appointment would mark Trump's third Supreme Court pick in one presidential term, cementing a conservative stronghold in the court for a generation. She has been the leading choice throughout the week since Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. She is the only potential nominee known to have met with the president in person, according to two of the sources. One source said Trump was familiar with Barrett already, and he met with her since she was the top contender the last time there was a Supreme Court vacancy when the president chose Justice Brett Kavanaugh instead. Barrett was seen at her South Bend, Indiana home on Friday. It was not clear if Barrett had been told she is the choice. Often that is done as late as possible to maintain secrecy around the announcement. Quote, the machinery is in motion, unquote, one of the sources said. In previous nomination announcements, the White House had multiple rollouts planned in case the president made a last-minute decision to switch to another candidate. But one source said it would be surprising if there were a change since allies are already being told. The White House declined to comment. Okay, well, anyway, this is one long article, and it goes on and on. Okay, the educated guess is she will be nominated. It's not confirmed yet, and Trump could pick Oprah tomorrow for all we know. So,
I would be so happy if this was just a giant head fake with Trump fucking with everybody.
Yeah,
and then he chose Barbara Lagoa or one of the other ones.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping it would be Barbara Lagoa just to watch Democrats squirm in trying to malign her, being that she's the daughter of immigrants and she's, has the Cuban background and all that. And that they approved her. The vote was like 80-12.
Well, I'm still holding out hope for Judge Judy. Nobody could malign her and get away with it. Doesn't matter what side of the alley you're on.
That's true. I was hoping Judge Joe Brown, though.
Oh, there you go, Judge Joe Brown. Yeah, man. If only Wapner were alive. Oh well. Anyway, so stay tuned, guys. That may or may not be the actual news of tomorrow, but it is the speculation of today. What is not speculation was a video going around today that was honestly uncomfortable and horrifying to watch given the implications, but apparently it's gotten better because Ron Paul, hospitalized after apparent medical episode, says he's doing fine. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this video, but he was doing an interview with someone over like Skype or something, and his brain just stops working and he just starts babbling incoherently, and it's absolutely horrifying to watch.
Yeah.
But let's see what the latest and greatest is. Former Texas Congressman Ron Paul was hospitalized earlier Friday after an apparent medical episode, but is now, quote, doing fine, unquote, according to a tweet posted to his Twitter account. Paul, a well-known libertarian, three-time presidential candidate, and father of Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, was seen visually slurring his words during a live stream on his YouTube channel on Friday. The video has since been removed. Now, the clip's still out there, though. Thank you, Michael Caruza. Happening. Yes, a stroke was happening. It's true, or something to that effect. Quote, message from Ron Paul. I am doing fine. Thank you for your concern, unquote. A tweet posted on the former congressman's account stated, which also included an image of Paul, who is 85, sitting up and smiling from a hospital bed. Rand Paul also tweeted out a brief statement saying, "Thank God Dad is doing well. Thank you for all your prayers today," unquote. Rand Paul's office has not yet responded to CNN's request for comment. CNN has also reached out to the Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity. Ron Paul ran for president as a libertarian in 1988 and a Republican in 2008 and 2012, helping to pave the way for Rand Paul's run in 2016 by building a nationwide network of devoted supporters drawn to his message of limited government and non-interventionist foreign policy. The elder Paul served as part of the Texas congressional delegation for more than 2 decades, representing the state's 22nd district from 1979 to 1985 and 14th district from 1997 until 2013, and becoming the first representative in U.S. history to serve alongside his child serving in the Senate. Prior to serving in Congress, he practiced obstetrics and gynecology, delivering more than 4,000 babies.
Wow.
There you go. So hopefully he's on a road to recovery quickly, although, man, like I say, that video clip is just like...
Yeah, speculation was that he'd had a stroke, which, I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad he's doing better. I'm not a huge Ron Paul fan. I'm not one, he's a little too hardcore libertarian for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy many of his takes, and having something like that be so public, that just sucks.
Yeah, it's also just terrifying. Like I'm watching him. I'm thinking, what is he thinking? Right? Does he know what he's doing? Is he aware of it, or is he like screaming on the inside as he just can't form words? Like, it's scary. But anyway, let's see. Moving on from that. Let's see. This is from CNN Politics. I hadn't heard of this until now, basically. Trump unveils platinum plan for Black Americans.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. President Donald Trump unveiled a plan aimed at winning over Black Americans on Friday, less than 2 months before Election Day, largely expanding upon the existing economic-related initiatives the president established in his first term. The proposals that include prosecuting the Ku Klux Klan and Antifa as terrorist organizations, making Juneteenth a federal holiday, and efforts to bolster Black economic prosperity. Okay, that first one, tying Ku Klux Klan and Antifa together, that's going to cause all types of consternation in places.
Yeah.
During an Atlanta event announcing that what was deemed the Black Economic Empowerment Platinum Plan, or BEEP. No, I added the or BEEP thing because I'm reading this. Black Economic Empowerment Platinum Plan, BEEP. I just think that's funny. Trump sought to draw contrast between his plan for the African-American community and Joe Biden's proposals, arguing that the former vice president, quote, inflicted, unquote, damage on the Black community over the last 47 years he spent working in Washington. Trump garnered just 8% of the Black electorate in 2016, and an average of recent 2020 polls shows Biden leading Trump with Black voters by an 83% to 8%, or 75-point margins. So Trump has the same amount of the Black electorate as he did 4 years ago.
But what did it say it was? He had 7% in the election?
8%.
So it was 8%. Yeah, so
nothing's changed on average in 4 years. Yeah, he's still president, isn't he?
He's still president.
Quote, they only care about power for themselves, whatever that means. My opponent is offering Black Americans nothing but the same old, tired, empty slogans, Trump argued. I guess he can make that argument more easily than Biden can, since Trump's never been a politician prior to this. So he doesn't have any empty slogans that anybody can call him on.
Right.
So, it's a safe bet, I guess. The president has presented different messages on race when playing to different audiences. Yeah, that never happens with politicians. He defended Confederate symbols. He has called the Black Lives Matter movement a symbol of hate, days after retweeting and then deleting a video that included a Florida supporter shouting white power. Oh, yeah, that one. The White House has maintained that Trump did not hear the supporter say the phrase. Thanks, Chicago Mike. BEEPP. Isn't that the Roadrunners plan too? Wah, wah.
Where's this article from?
This is CNN.
Okay, that explains the language choices.
Yeah. But on Friday, the president spoke about the pillars of the plan in broad terms, saying that among other proposals, he would be building up quote-unquote peaceful urban neighborhoods with the quote-unquote highest standards of policing, bringing fairness to the justice system, expanding school choice, increasing black home ownership, and creating a quote national clemency project to right wrongful prosecutions and to pardon individuals who have reformed their lives, unquote. Well, now that's a hit straight at Kamala, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's aimed right at Kamala there, and as well the crime bill that Biden championed way back when as well.
Yeah, the '94 crime bill.
Yeah. So I went through this a little bit earlier today, and first of all, here's what Twitter did regarding this. I come on Twitter when I have my stream this afternoon, and the KKK is trending.
Oh God!
Well
Okay.
done.
And
well done indeed, you idiots.
And so I'm looking at this, and I'm like, why the hell is the KKK trending? And I click on it, and it's Trump's plan. And it's because he mentions the KKK being made into a terrorist group or whatever. Which the KKK is pretty fucking irrelevant anyway. But that's okay. I see what he did here. And then making Antifa a terrorist organization too. The thing about this is, as I'm reading through it, and I think about what Democratic plans have been for Black people in the past, and I think Lyndon Johnson's Great Society and all that shit, and we'll have them voting for us for 100 years because we're giving them things.
Yep.
Well, his plan is all about opportunity things. And as I was reading through this, I thought about when Trump was inaugurated. After he was inaugurated, the first people he met with in the Oval Office immediately after he was inaugurated were the presidents from the historically black colleges and universities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? He didn't have to do that. Black people didn't get Trump elected. But regardless, the first people he met with was them. And then he met with them again the next year, and he asked them why they kept coming back to meet with the president. And he's like, because we've had to come here every year to make sure that we get our funding. And so he set it up so that they get their funding for 10 years and they don't have to keep coming back, right? That's in this plan. It's if you look at there's like a summary of the plan in there, and they talk about that. And then they talk about the opportunity zones, and they talk about doing $500 billion in business capital for people to get people to start small businesses. Everything in his plan is related to creating opportunities for people instead of just giving people shit. And I love that. I think that is exactly, and I hate saying the word the Black community, but my demographic, that's what my demographic needs, because every other, immigrants do so well here because people tell them when they're going to go to America, well, you're going to America because the American dream, and you can do this and this and build a business, yada, yada, yada. Nobody tells Black kids that. Everyone tells Black kids that you're oppressed, you're going to be discriminated against, the white man's going to have his knee on your neck, police are out to get you, rather than what are your opportunities and how can you fulfill it? And how are all these other people fulfilling the opportunities given to them? And why aren't we? And so it's subtle, but it's brilliant.
I think you're right. It plays into a very undertapped message. And the stuff we are telling young Black kids is kind of horrific. It's literally, you can't. You just can't.
And that's, and you know what? I was thinking about that remember the guy from Wells Fargo was saying that, he's limited Black talent.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about that?
Yeah, I did.
It's the reason he said that is because it's true. Because first of all, we're only 13% of the population. Our graduation rates are far below any other demographic that you can think of. So that lowers the pool even more. If you told kids, hey, look, that guy from Wells Fargo said the pool is small. Imagine if you worked hard and got into that pool, you'd be a shoo-in to get a job there because they want Black talent. And you know what? If you're smart, my kid, I'm so glad he did well in school growing up because he can write his own check just because he's partially Black.
Thank you, Angry Illinoisian. What a treat. AP Dawg rant. I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
That whole Wells Fargo thing is like he wasn't making a statement of assessment of value. He was saying a fact of numbers.
Right.
And then immediately he comes down and has to apologize. And
I'm so mad he apologized.
It's like so stupid. Just like I wasn't saying something about Black people. I was saying that the number of people that come to the table with the qualifications we require for jobs is low. Yeah. That's just the fact. It's not me saying I don't want people here like that. It's that we're not getting enough people that and besides this all boils down to quotas and optics anyway, and just be like, why we just hire people based on their merit regardless. But anyway. Let's see. What about Trump's plan? For example, Trump's plan proposes making lynching a national hate crime. Trump wants to do that? Oh.
What a weird dog whistle.
Yeah. I wonder if that would I wonder if retroactively that would make Jussie Smollett a member of the KKK.
Well, yeah.
In 2019, Scott? Who's Scott? Oh, sorry, I skipped a paragraph. The proposal borrows efforts from proposals by other Republicans, such as South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who played a vital role in the establishment of opportunity zones, and remains the sole Black Republican in the Senate. Scott co-sponsored legislation to make lynching a hate crime alongside none other than California Democratic Senator Kamala Harris, who is now the Democratic presidential vice presidential nominee.
Let's be honest, she's the presidential.
I know, she's the presidential nominee. The legislation passed in the Senate, but was never passed by the House. I thought it went the other way around. Am I missing something?
What do you mean?
Okay. I thought the bills started in the House and move on to the Senate, or my brain is just fried for some reason.
You mean in general or that bill specific?
That one specific.
If it was a Kamala plan, it had to have been in the Senate.
Yeah, okay. As demonstrations rocked the country this summer protesting against police brutality and racism following the death of George Floyd, the president sought to console Black Americans who have died as a result of police violence. However, he has consistently delivered a law and order message calling demonstrators thugs and anarchists. No. No, that's not. Okay, there's a distinction there. His using those words is not describing the peaceful protesters. Are you? Okay, anyway, then we descended to, we descended to CNN nonsense. I'm going to stop there because it was informative up to that point. It's like then you're cherry picking words and classifying them as Jesus Christ.
Well, there's another thing in there that I liked is Trump talking about good policing in areas, because we've seen there is a majority of Black Americans who are like, yeah, the police, something needs done with them. But that same group, and actually a bigger group, is like, but we still want police around, and actually we wish there were kind of more.
Right.
So it's nice to see people paying attention to that and not just the nonsense in the street. We need to defund the police. Shut up.
Black people are the victims of 50% of all violent crime.
Yep.
All violent crime. Victims of. So, yeah, there's that.
Let's see. Well, that was all I had. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to mention, or shall we move on?
No, like I said, I just woke up, so I don't even know what the world is about today.
Let's go.
All right. Well, then, guys, we're going to move on to the wonderful world of MSS News. So if you have news stories you would like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but that's just because I'm long-winded, and so are my co-hosts.
Why are you trying to put us in that shit?
Because yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please prove my point.
I am trying so hard not to interrupt.
Well, you would be the first.
Zip it.
All right.
Just do what feels natural, man.
First one comes from Frosted Glass, on whose show I will be appearing after the Lords of the Night tonight at 11:30 p.m. Eastern over on Frosted Glass's channel for whatever I'm in store for. I'm not quite sure what, but the corner with Frosted Glass. But the story that Frosted Glass has sent us today is from Medium, if you can believe it, under the subheading Race, if you can believe it.
Yay.
And it's from August 7th, so we're not talking the freshest take, but we'll see in a moment here. Thank you, Shrouded Angel. Did you replace Satsu with P-Dog? No. P-Dog's sitting in for Satsu, who is saving his marriage.
And my wife's out of town, so I'm good.
There you go. Stockholm Syndrome in the Black community.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And this is by Patrick Cage. I don't know who that is. There is a disease process that afflicts many African Americans and other minorities in this country. It is called Stockholm Syndrome. In the arena of politics, Stockholm Syndrome manifests itself when people willingly agree to become instruments in their own destruction. For example, when blacks and other minorities knowingly submit to efforts by others to disenfranchise them, or when they willingly support those that promote evil, such as coerced segregation, voter suppression, and the building of walls.
Wait. Coerced segregation.
Like affinity groups.
Segregation's still fine. Just don't coerce people into it.
Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological condition observed when a victim of abuse identifies, attaches to, and bonds positively with the agenda of people who abuse and subjugate them. The syndrome was first identified in 1973 by the psychiatrist Nils Bergerot after an attempted bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. The attempted bank robbery resulted in a 6-day hostage crisis during which 4 bank employees were taken captive. The captors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we know. If you want to read up on the Stockholm Syndrome thing, read it up. This is not the place for it. And then it goes on to talk more about Stockholm Syndrome, and then Patty Hearst. And then, okay, now we finally get to it. The current president's relationship with the African American community can only fairly be characterized as abusive.
What?
Fairly, you say? All right. Like the bank robbers in Sweden and the Hearst kidnappers, the president of the United States is in a position to abuse and to exert control. He has power that can be used to advance good or evil. Trump has opted for the latter. Give me
Sorry. Please tell me they have an example. One fucking example.
I think your rage hit your mic and turned your volume way down.
I know. I'm trying very hard. But see, Scribe, you got to understand.
Yes.
I have done 425 shows of just the Morning Night Live, not including just random streams.
Yes.
I've only had guests 5 times. I talk by myself a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a challenge for me to shut the hell up.
I have an image of the 3 of us sitting around in the corner of a dark bar somewhere with a light overhead, and we're showing each other our different wounds from shark bites. And right now, I'd be showing you all the TEDx scars I have.
I know.
So you don't you try to tell me about talking alone about crazy stuff.
I don't talk very much about anything, so I can't relate to none of this.
That's right. You're the what's his name? You're the Richard Dreyfuss character in the equation.
Okay, let me make my point that I really wanted to make.
Okay.
I bet you.
Yes.
If you walked up to every black person you see tomorrow,
Okay.
and you ask them,
Mhm.
what has Donald Trump done specifically to you in your life that has affected you? And the answer would be, I don't know. Nothing.
Did you see that video, the message to Tim Pool video from the other day?
Oh,
No.
yeah. From whatever his name is. Yeah, I did see that.
That was I just saw that today. That was a really good video, and he talks exactly about that. Like, okay, so everybody keeps telling me Donald Trump does all this horrible shit, but nobody can give me an example.
Yeah.
What exactly was it? Other than people saying what he did was bad, what exactly did he do?
Well,
And
this
said,
is
look, sorry, Screws, but he's like, my life is better right now. And he goes, and as I look at it, if I'm being honest about it, the opportunities under Trump have been better than they've ever been in my life.
And this is, and we've talked about this many times. There's a seemingly unnoticed difference between rhetoric and policy. Donald Trump is a blowhard. He is a egomaniac. He can't maintain. I mean, he's more coherent than Joe Biden on any given day. But if you listen to his answers to questions or anything else, he's all over the place most of the time. And then he says things that are either ill-advised or poorly put, or tweets out stuff on the cuff. And you combine that with ridiculously pointless cherry picking by the media and misconstruing things he did say into things that he didn't say. It sounds like, if you're only paying attention to the rhetoric, both what he says and what the media says he says, it's the most terrible thing since, unsliced bread or something. But then you actually look at the results of where are we at as a country in the last 4 years. The economy was going gangbusters. We haven't entered into any new wars in 4 years. Unemployment was in the basement for the lowest point in decades up until the pandemic. And now they're leaning on, first it was leaning on, Russian collusion was the great demon of the whole thing. And now that fell completely flat and went nowhere, nobody's even talking about the impeachment anymore. Now his handling of the pandemic is terrible. Now that's arguable depending on how you look at it. But a lot of that stuff is hindsight's 2020, and very few countries on the planet who had a direct effect of this got it quote unquote right the first time either. That being said, yeah, people can't seem to just stop for a second and say, let's ignore Trump. Let's turn off the volume to Trump for a second. Let's look at the state of the country before the pandemic. The pandemic is such a X factor to everything. Everybody's trying to say, like, what's happened in the last 6 or 7 months somehow represents the last 4 years, which it doesn't. What exactly did he do? What was the end result of any of his policies that actually destroyed America or anything else? And maybe I'm missing something. I didn't vote for the guy. I'm not going to vote for the guy for various reasons. But at the end of the day, I don't see that we're terrible off as a country any more so during Trump than we were before Trump. But yet I'm supposed to believe, based on the fact that he's an arrogant ass, and the media wants me to think that he's a racist, horrible, whatever, when he's bringing peace to the Middle East and making black unemployment the lowest it's been in 50 years or something. Some terrible, horrible autocrat dictator. So there's a disconnect there. And I guess it depends on whether or not you choose to believe the rhetoric you're being told, or believe that the representation Trump puts of himself encompasses the actual results of his administration. Yeah. Or you want to actually look at what exactly is the results of the pudding? I don't care if the chef is an asshole. Does his food taste good?
And wait, real quick. Thank you, tall person on Streamlabs, who says, Happy National Crab Meat Newburgh Day. okay, the joke's going over my head, but look, Donald Trump is a jackass. Okay,
Yep.
I've been saying this since 2016. He's a jackass. But right now, it is a feature, not a bug, because he deals with nothing but jackasses all day. And dictator, he is the worst dictator on the planet if he's a dictator, because I don't think there'd be a bunch of assholes setting fires in the streets right now. They'd all be dead in mass graves. And the news media, all those motherfuckers would be shut off. I'm sorry, I'm swearing. Can I swear on the show?
My monetization doesn't care now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I blame you. It's okay. It's fine. Let's go. Go ahead.
All these new, okay. Brian Karam, who asked that stupid question the other day, the win, lose, or draw question.
I didn't see that one. What's the question?
At the press conference with Donald Trump, he was asking Donald Trump. Here's his literal question started with, win, lose, or draw. Can you commit to a peaceful transition of power? Gotcha. He started that question with win, lose, or draw. Could you commit to a peaceful transfer of power? Which I wish Trump would have caught what he said at the beginning, because I would have said, well, hey, dumbass, there's no such thing as a draw because there's a system for working that out. And if I win, no, there won't be any transfer of power. So why don't you sit the fuck down? That's what a dictator would have done. And then he would have kicked him out and had the Secret Service shoot his ass. He's not a dictator. Believe me, he other than a few minor executive orders and some executive orders that have changed old executive orders, what has he done that's made him a dictator?
He beat Hillary.
Right, that's it.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Moving on.
There we go.
This one comes from Keeverdam. Let's see here. 3 Orthodox Jewish men die of COVID-19 hours after arriving at New York City hospital. Okay. 3 members of the city's Orthodox Jewish communities died from the coronavirus over the last 4 days, all within hours of arriving at the hospital too sick to be saved, the Post has learned. Okay. All 3 men were fatally ill with the disease by the time they sought treatment at the Maimonides, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, medical center in Borough Park, one of the neighborhoods at the center of the Big Apple's latest COVID-19 outbreak. Quote, there's rampant COVID denialism and misinformation abound in the community, one person familiar with the situation said. Quote, people are not getting tested and are refusing care even when sick. This is deeply distressing, unquote. Not all the deaths were elderly men, the sources added, although more specific information was not immediately available.
How old were they? Tell me.
They don't say.
Yeah, I know, but
the source. Yeah. But the source had said.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, yeah, there's rampant COVID denialism and misinformation abound in the community. Yeah, and here's one of the things that's unfortunately suspicious about everything. What is classified as a COVID death and why? And without more information, do we know? And if they were really old guys, like, and what do you classify as? Not all of them were elderly. Okay, so 3 of the 4 were in their 80s or something. I hate this stuff.
There's another part of this, though. I read a story the other day. It was about this medical student who was on her rotations, and her first one was somewhere, but the one she was on was in the ER, and she picked up COVID and she died. This woman had a list of health problems. She shouldn't have been a doctor.
Yeah.
Anything she caught was going to kill her. She had a history of heart problems and breathing issues. She was a walking COVID death. It's what she was. And like, it was so tragic. And like, why didn't any of you tell her not to go down this path? It's tragic. She died, sure. But this is one of those that's called inevitable.
Yeah. My reaction to the story about the 3 guys who waited too long to go to the hospital and died, my response when you were reading that was, and because there's a lot of missing information.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where, like, in the absence of any context, I can't honestly look at that and say, oh, I can draw the conclusion that they all died of COVID-19. B, there were no other contributing factors. C, why'd they wait? And on and on and on and on. It's like that's a story without enough information.
Yeah.
And I always get very curious, like how do the news outlets confirm that it was a death by COVID-19?
Because they were told.
Yeah, and
because that's the scariest thing they could come up with.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
I really do wish it was deeper than that, but it's just not.
It's not. Yeah, and so those guys' deaths, whoever they are, they're just being used. I mean, and the story talks about disinformation and everything else. It's like, okay, there's disinformation by omission as well, you know. If you just pump out a story without any context, without any details, and make assumptions about what it was, you're not contributing to helping with the problem. You're just contributing to the problem. And you know, it would be helpful if sometimes they would go deeper and actually do some investigation to do away with stories that actually don't apply, so we can have a clear idea of what's going on. But all the time, this falls straight into the hysteria of it, or give us the most surface level information as classified. Here's another chapter in the tragedy that is COVID-19. Is it though? Anyway. Okay, I could go on. This one comes from Shrouded Angel, and it sounds absolutely disgusting. So, thank you, Shrouded Angel. Let's have the headline come up. Factory caught washing and recycling and reselling over 300,000 used condoms.
What country is that in again? Isn't that some weird country?
Well, I don't know how weird it is.
Well, not weird.
A factory in Vietnam has been busted for washing and recycling thousands of used condoms and then selling them to unsuspecting customers. Police swooped on an apartment in the south of the country where they found over 300,000 unlabeled and unpackaged condoms. The owner of the illicit facility, Pham Thi Tran Ngoc, said she had washed and then dried the condoms before remolding them on a wooden dildo. Detectives say the woman received a weekly consignment of condoms from an unidentified person and were then repackaged after being processed. Yeah, I bet that person runs a brothel.
Like, hey, what do you do for a living? Well,
Bastard Beast in chat had my same question. How did she get them? And I guess that's kind of an answer, I guess.
My guess is brothel or otherwise such people. An unknown amount of dirty contraceptives were then sold to unsuspecting members of the public. Used condoms are a major risk to the public and can lead to infections as well as sexually transmitted diseases. You don't say.
Well, not if you dip them in some alcohol or something, right?
Okay.
That's not spermicide, it's sperm.
Oh, I just want to know how she cleaned them out.
Soap and water, probably.
She licked them.
Manually.
All right. This one comes from Chicago Mike. Try to get through some more of these here. Come on. You can do it. Can't you? Give me the headline. Thank you. Man causes $40,000 in damages while trying to write his name on brewer's field with a tractor.
Wow.
Oh boy, everyone wants to leave their mark on the field, but maybe not quite like this. A 40-year-old Milwaukee man is facing charges after entering Miller Park while it was unlocked, commandeering a tractor, and trying to write his name on the field. The incident, which happened back in June, caused an estimated $40,000 in damages. This is the author talking. I'm not going to sit here and say it's okay to trespass in a stadium and tear up a field, but I respect that the man had really lofty goals. Okay.
What?
That's bizarre. According to the criminal complaint, the man told police he was, quote, going to try to write his name in cursive with the tractor tires, but it moved too slow, unquote. Back to the author. I'm no tractor expert. The extent of my knowledge on the subject extends to my riding lawnmower. However, the idea of trying to pull off cursive on a tractor feels like you're setting the game to hard mode. Unless you're an extremely experienced tractor artist, there is no way you're doing anything close to that. It's a case of needing to walk before you run. Are you giving him advice in the retrospect? Like what?
Well, I mean, it's probably what he needed to learn anyway. 40 grand in damage. He probably tore up the field.
Exactly. Yeah. But there was a photo, at least on the tweet, that was associated with this. I guess of security footage or something. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he fucked up on the grass.
Yeah, you got to imagine the drainage systems they put in those new stadiums, and that it's very very intricate, and it's not easy. It's easy to do that much damage.
Real quick, thank you, Bacall, the Driving Ape Man. Someone watched Son-in-Law. Oh, Polly Shore, you will save us all. Go ahead, Monkey.
The only acceptable excuse for that guy doing that is, sorry, guys, I was drunk. That's it. Yeah. I was trying to leave my mark. No, fuck you. I was drunk is all that I will accept.
And the fact that he's in Milwaukee, that's a pretty good chance that he was.
Let's see. This one comes from Peter Stewart with a hero rodent. Giant rat wins Animal Hero Award for sniffing out landmines.
Oh.
London, England. A rat has, for the first time, won a British charity's top civilian award for animal bravery, receiving the honor for searching out unexploded landmines in Cambodia. Magawa, a giant African pouched rat, was awarded the PDSA's gold medal for his, quote, life-saving bravery and devotion, unquote, after discovering 39 landmines and 28 items of unexploded ordnance in the past 7 years, according to the charity. Damn.
Cool.
First known as the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, PDSA started as a free veterinary clinic in 1917 and has honored his heroic animals since 1943. Magawa was trained by a Belgian organization that has taught rats to find landmines for more than 20 years. What a weird job that must be. The group, APOPO, Apopo, works with programs in Cambodia, Angola, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique to clear millions of mines left behind from wars and conflicts. Magawa is the group's most successful rat, having cleared more than 141,000 square meters of land, the equivalent of some 20 soccer fields. Jeez Louise. All the unsuccessful rats are now bits and kibble all over the place.
Look, I would much rather a rat blow up than a kid, so that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. This one comes from Froggy. I don't know why I say Froggy's name that way. Froggy. Bronx dad who shielded kids in dealership shootout loses his job.
I saw that headline. What the hell?
I don't get this.
The hero Bronx dad, who was wounded as he shielded his 3 small children from gunfire at a Bronx car dealership this week, lost his jobs, plural, because of the injury, according to a fundraising page that surpassed $100,000 on Friday. Anthony Jefferson, 39, visited the used car business on Boston Road in Eastchester around 7:30 p.m. Monday to look for a car to surprise the mother of his kids, Danica Jefferson, on her upcoming birthday. Instead of leaving with a car, Jefferson found himself in the midst of a shootout and was shot himself as he covered his children with his body to protect them from the bullets. Quote, due to his injury, Anthony lost his job and has to have surgery to remove the bullet. Serena Wingate, a close friend of Jefferson, posted on a GoFundMe page that hit $122,084 on Friday afternoon. The page's goal was $24,100. Quote, this GoFundMe is to help this heroic dad with his medical bills and his kids with therapy. They are beyond traumatized. I can believe it.
You think?
I want to find that GoFundMe page to see where it's at right now. They don't have a link to it here. So
imagine when they're in school, my dad can kick your dad's ass. That's fucked up. I understand, depending on what his jobs were, if he can't do it, he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude.
I don't like the headline made it sound like he was fired.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah.
clickbaity.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat can look that GoFundMe up real quick, I'd be curious to know. That's because it was at $122,084 whenever the story was posted. So I'd be curious to know what it's gone up to, because that guy deserves a heck of a lot more than that.
I hope he heals and that life works out for him.
Yeah. Green Death also sent us that story. I think I'm going to call it there, guys, because I'm sure we have a lot to talk about. So, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry you didn't get to them all. But there was a story posted from the actual at MSS_news thing, which, I mean, it's in a language I don't understand. It looks like it might be Indian, maybe, or something. I'm terrible with looking at language characters and knowing where they're coming from. But anyway, yeah, that was just a weird coincidence. Okay, we're going to move. Oh, see, Uncle Iris says $167,764. Okay, good. Keep going up for that guy. Holy cow. Moving on to the wonderful world of YouTube time. I'll go first because I didn't do much today. Just got the theme together for today's broadcast. After this, over on Frosted Glasses channel for the Corner Show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern or 8:30 p.m. Pacific. I'll be on there being subjected to whatever I'm going to be subjected to. I have no idea. So find out with me on Frosted Glasses channel. Beyond that, I'm tentatively planning to do a TEDx tomorrow. It depends on what the schedule is with my sister and I hanging out and that kind of thing, whether I feel like it by the time I get home. We'll see. Sunday, I'm probably going to do something yay random as usual. Next week, I tentatively have a couple of TEDx's where it'll be tandem with a couple of people, maybe, but I'm waiting for confirmation on scheduling, so I can't say anything yet. I don't want to tell stories out of school, but hopefully I can get that squared away and let you guys know as soon as possible. Other than that, that's all I've been up to. So, Monkey, what have you been up to?
Oh, a whole lot of gaming, man. Last night, I didn't have it in me to do a monkey in the morning. I broke a little bit, you know. I needed a break. Burned out. The two cops getting shot there in Louisville. It just broke me a little bit because this is stuff that was predictable. This was stuff that didn't need to happen, and it's stuff that has been encouraged by way too many people in our media and our politics. Yeah, and I just had enough, and I don't want to talk about this shit. So I fired up Medieval Dynasty and started a brand new game and played for 7.5 hours. And it was a good time. Lots of fun and lots of shit went on, and it's going better than my first season. This is season 2 now. And then after that, I'm like, okay, we can probably do a show, and did a show, and we actually ended up talking most of the time about movies. With Halloween coming up, I was just, curious what everybody's favorite movies were for Halloween. And then talked about, genre specific stuff about horror movies. So yeah, mostly gaming, but we snuck a monkey in the morning in there. Don't forget to come watch us over on 2 Cents Plus after this. So also so that you can watch me and Satsu play some more Raft. That's all I got.
All right. And P-Dog Night, what did you do today?
Well, I had a busy day this morning. For those of you who aren't familiar with my show, I have a Monday through Friday show called The Morning Night Live, and it's 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and click that bell. But I had a show this morning with my guest, the Hard Bastard he has a channel called Hard Bastard, and then we just talked about news stuff going on today. And then this afternoon at 4:30, when I came home from work, I noticed that I breached that 1,000 subscriber threshold that I've been trying to do for quite a while here. So I decided to do an impromptu stream. And for 2.5 hours, I just had fun talking to people in the chat and pulling up random news stories and seeing what was going on in the world. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm at 1,006. On Thursday, I had was it 981 subscribers? No, excuse me, 881 subscribers. And so over the last 2 days, it's been over 100 some subscribers. So
that is
good.
awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. So, so now the monetization thing's starting to kick in. At least I'm going through the process of that, and hopefully my mobile streaming will be reinstated now that I have 1,000. And thank you for anyone who happens to be subscribing. I hear my little beep thing go off for my Streamlabs because I have it open so I can hear the notifications. But yeah, I talk about news. I talk about a lot of stuff we do here, but I and then I occasionally I go on rants like the one I did earlier on the show, and people seem to find that entertaining. So there you go.
Thank you, Connor Johnson. I've been rewatching Breaking Bad lately. Okay. Well, I just started on the 7th season of The Blacklist, so there you go. What I really want to start rewatching, and I keep forgetting to, or I keep not finding the motivation for some reason, is The Shield. Because it's been a long time since I watched The Shield. It's a great show, isn't it, Monkey? Oh wait, you don't know. You never watched it.
You should watch it, man.
I've never seen it either.
We should watch it together, Monkey.
You know I can't commit to that kind of shit.
I know. People want us to do more movies you should have watched kind of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of that, with your 70,000 on G.I. Jane.
Yeah, that sucker keeps going up. Like I can't remember how long ago it was, but it hit 60,000 views not that long ago, and I am absolutely bewildered as to what is driving the viewership of that one. Of all the videos on my channel, that one is just always gone gangbusters. I don't get it. I'm not complaining because to this day, it's still monetized. So whatever pennies are coming through from whoever is watching the thing, or at least clicking on it once in a while, there you are. But yeah, and it is. I've just sort of unironically decided to listen to it a couple of times over the last year or two. Just like I want to remind myself, like, what's so interesting about this? And I think it's a pretty good broadcast all around, talking about the movie and our opinions and insights on it. So there you go.
I've never rewatched it, but it was one of my favorite ones we did live.
Yeah.
There were some of them when we were done. It's like, okay, that one was done. And there was someone like, that was a really good show. And that was one of them.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to our abilities. And also the fact that I think part of it was that was the first time you'd watched that movie. And it was like the 7th time or something that I'd seen it. So it's sort of I remember, I think I mentioned it even on there, was like the reverse of Running Scared, where it's like that was one of your favorite movies and I'd only watched it that first time for that show.
It's G.I. Jane, Running Scared. There's very few of those where one of us hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. And I still have my copy of Hard Snow or Plow Hard or whatever the hell that Liam Neeson movie is.
Oh yeah, I still got to watch that.
Oh, Cold Pursuit. Is that it? Cold Pursuit?
Yeah.
Cold Pursuit. I still haven't watched. It's still in the plastic. So at some point, maybe this winter or something, when there's really nothing to do, we should do that one. But anyway, all that aside, let's move on to the wonderful world of internet fucketry. Now, something that just popped up on my Twitter feed a few minutes ago, and I've retweeted it since. I don't know if this is some kind of fan mock-up, but there is an image going around that supposedly shows the teaser poster, effectively, of the Netflix anime Masters of the Universe series. Now, if this is real, first and foremost, and the artwork is genuine, they didn't shy away from the actual source material, which I'm very appreciative of. It doesn't look like Thundercats Go or any of that other BS. Or Thundercats Roar. Also, if that's Castle Grayskull in the background, that's an intimidating looking Castle Grayskull. So they didn't go soft on, at least visually, the material. I'm going to have to wait for the actual content thereof. But that gives me... I never asked for a Masters of the Universe series, but if they're going to do it, this is the way that I hope they would, at least somewhat with respect, I guess. Aren't they still making a live action one though at the same time?
I'm not sure if they are or not, but if you want to see a great live action one, go watch that grocery store commercial.
Yeah, those commercials are hilarious. Oh, Resolute Germ says, unfortunately, it's fan art. Is it? Oh, that's disappointing. Okay, I wasn't sure. That's why I was like, I'm not sure if this is real or not, but yeah, it would be cool if it was. But now, oh man, I always get weary of like, it's like we're gonna resurrect parts of your childhood. Like, are you really? Moving on from that, there's an image going around of every morning, 8 seconds to acknowledge Black, racialized, and Indigenous students. And there's this hallway shot of people at some high school or something kneeling in, I'll just say prayer, because I called it a morning prayer line. It just looks so cringy. And one lady's holding up her power fist. And not the cool kind from New Vegas or something, but her like, righteous fist or something. Then the Washington Post gave us a story today that was very important for us to know. This photographer spent a year reflecting on the end of her 20s. Photographer Alicia Kravitz spent a year making self-portraits to commemorate the end of her 20s. And I just posted a GIF of Narcissus from Disney's Hercules. Like, gosh, I spent a whole year making self-portraits to celebrate the end of my 20s. Oh, so profound. Oh, my God. Thank you, Cryptic. Did you hear about the scientist who was lab partners with a pot of boiling water? He had a very esteemed colleague.
I have that sound effect on when I do shit. So
yeah, I can actually kind of pseudo do a soundboard now with the little film clip things you can insert into StreamYards.
Oh, sweet.
I haven't done it yet for anything other than.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, let's see. Here's here. I'll give you this one.
Ooh, that's a bingo,
right?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's for the TED is when we hit a bingo.
That was special.
Yeah, I put that. I called it the idea to use the Christoph Waltz clip from *Inglourious Bastards* was actually Kurt Metzger suggested that when I was on his podcast.
Sure.
And then like a day or two later, when I showed him that clip, he was like, "Oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?" Because at the start of the podcast, he made sure to tell us he was totally high. So I was like, okay.
Yes.
It's hilarious. But anyway, so thanks again to Kurt for that idea. Let's see, what else did I have? We talked about that. Tom Steyer, Monkey's...
you owe me money, Tom.
Yeah, Monkey's hopeful sugar daddy at some point in the future. He put this out today. The Affordable Care Act, signed into law by President Obama, covered pre-existing conditions. Trump wants his illegitimate Supreme Court pick to get rid of it, and it doesn't matter how many pieces of paper he signs and lies about. And I was like, illegitimate Supreme Court? Since when? Illegitimate? How? When? How? Why? Because Ruth Bader Ginsburg supposedly made a dying declaration that means nothing? Oh, is that it? Let's see. The Washington Post had this pointless story. Perspective. I played Trump in Clinton's debate prep. Here's what Biden can expect. And I said, or maybe just watch the 2016 debates. Now, there is an interesting sort of side story about this guy in the book Shattered, inside the failed Hillary Clinton campaign, where they talk about all the behind-the-scenes stuff leading up to the debates in 2016 and what this guy did in predicting how Trump would behave on stage and get Hillary prepared for it. And it was actually interesting because, according to the book at least, and all the observers, he actually gamed out a lot of the things that Trump ended up doing physically on the stage before the debates actually happened. So this guy really got into Trump's head on that. So from that point of view, I guess you could say maybe this guy's got some insight. But honestly, if you want to see what Trump's going to do, you've got all of the Republican debates from 2015 and 2016. Mm-hmm. You've got all the presidential debates from 2016. You're not lacking in analysis of what Trump may or may not do. And honestly, this guy only knew what Trump was going to do on the debate stage by watching that same material. So I don't understand what this story was there for, except as one more, like, I guess, easy puff piece kind of thing and blah.
Well, and if you actually told Joe everything that he knows, how much would Joe remember?
There's that.
No shit.
Yeah. What would that matter? Besides what there's, I mean, it's not going to be the same thing because one of the things they talk about in the book is how he gamed out what Trump would do behind Hillary on the town hall meeting stage, you know, looming over her, doing this, that, and the other. None of that's going to be happening here because they're going to be socially distant and et cetera. So there's not going to be sort of even peripheral interaction between the two. So it's kind of moot as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Thank you, Cryptic, again. My 4-year-old son has been learning Spanish all year, and he still can't say the word please, which I think is por for four.
Oh, God. Scribbles, this next one I was asked if I would read.
Okay.
Thank you, Understatement, who says, oh, my God. I take self-portrait of myself and my 1,000 cats because I'm so introspective. I'm so cool and edgy. Don't you think I'm so cool and edgy? Thank you for the donation.
Yes.
Monkey read it, so I didn't have to. Thank you, Understatement. Thank you, Monkey.
Indeed.
Let's see. A couple more things. I was quite active today, so I'll try to keep these relatively brief. First off, if you haven't seen it already, and I really want this to happen. This is a personal request from me to you, chat. So my friend Tailed Feature, okay, he does a lot of different things. And one of the things he does is he is a big heavy metal fan, okay? And he has done covers and interpretations of metal songs. He did like this medley not too long ago of some great music. I think it was Iron Maiden or whatever. I might be misspeaking. But anyway, he's got a channel called Scottish Feature. Okay, Scottish Feature, 2 words. It only has 617 subscribers. That's not what I want you to focus on, though. He recently posted, like just yesterday, a cover of the Megadeth song Tornado of Souls, and it's great. And it only has 220 views, which I think is a crime, honestly, given the amount of work and effort that he put into it. Now, I tweeted a link to this song directly to Dave Mustaine. Because when Tail was like, this only got 200 views, I'm like, I'm going to change that. I'm determined. So I tweeted it straight to Dave Mustaine. I said, hey, Dave Mustaine and Megadeth fans, you should give this a listen. It's my friend Tailed Feature worked on this cover. It's great. Now, I don't know if Dave Mustaine saw this. I'm hoping he has, or he will. But regardless, in the interim, go over to the channel Scottish Feature. Take the link for his cover of Tornado of Souls and just retweet it out to people and hashtag Megadeth on it. Because he deserves more attention for the amount of work and passion he puts into his stuff. And I told him I am going to fix this. But I need your help because I can't do it alone. So
when did you retweet that?
That was 9 hours ago now.
Okay.
So you have to go down a little bit, and I say, hey, at Dave Mustaine and Megadeth fans. So,
there you go.
Okay, 2 more things shortly. First off, just a complete stealth posting today from Warner Brothers. They posted a half-hour documentary on the history of the Joker, read by Kevin Conroy, the voice of the Batman in the Batman animated series. And it's great. Talking about the origins of the character, the meaning, all the portrayals, etc. So I tweeted that out as well. I sent it over to Polydub as well because, comic book curation and everything. But it's called The Joker Put on a Happy Face. And you just look that up, and it's great. I mean, it's I think it's for Batman Day or whatever's coming out or whatever's already happened or anniversary or something. But it was just kind of just dropped out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God, it's great.
There you go.
And lastly, the Washington Post posted this today. Are you running into voting problems? Let us know. The Post is partnering with ProPublica to hear what problems voters, that's you, are encountering when trying to vote in the general election. And I said, yeah, Washington Post, I've had a problem. Both sides of the aisle and the media are telling me not to trust the results of any outcome in the election, either due to Russians or mailing issues or coup attempts. kind of makes me not want to bother voting. Could you look into that, maybe? And that is all I've got. So, Monkey, what do you got?
Sorry, I'm watching Tail. Give me a second. I get over to the right place. Yeah, guys, retweet that out. I just retweeted it. Just retweet it until Dave acknowledges it. Let's see. Where's the Crystalliza one? That stupid son of a... Oh, before we get there, I like when politicians are funny or show a more human side of themselves. And Ted Cruz did that today.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Shapiro tweeted out, important news. I have rewatched Zodiac and can definitively state it is the best David Fincher film. To which Ted Cruz retweeted, there are some inaccuracies. Well played, sir. Well played indeed. Yeah. Okay, here's the Biden one. Joe Biden tweeted out today. Oh, wait, you got a super chat.
Yeah. Thank you, Cryptic. A chemist froze himself to minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, and everyone called him crazy. But personally, I think he was okay. Oh, sorry, 0K. 0K Kelvin.
0K, yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic.
Joe Biden tweeted out today, healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Which, for what he's backing an Obamacare plan. What is it? Obamacare Plus, basically, is what he's trying to push. Specifically, not pushing single payer. But if you're going to call it a right, don't you have to make it single payer? If it's a right that you get this, then you can't say, oh, sorry, you didn't buy your Obamacare insurance.
Yeah.
Or even you have to pay for your Obamacare insurance. Because if it's a right, how can you tell me I can't have it if I don't pay for it? Yeah. So I simply asked him if he was embracing the Sanders plan. He hasn't gotten back to me on that yet. Joe never gets back to me. A lot of these people never get back to me. I'm starting to take it to heart. I feel like they don't like me. Okay. Alyssa Milano. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alyssa Milano tweeted out this. It's a story. Where was that from again? Business Insider. She said, experts suggest 2 ways to prevent the next pandemic. Stop cutting down forests and trading wild animals. Now, there might be something to trading wild animals. I'll get to that in a second. But the idea that we could have prevented COVID just by having more trees is fucking retarded. There's no other way to put that. It's just stupid. It's asinine. This is you saying, you know what? I am going to use COVID to push my environmental agenda. As for the other thing, or actually for both of these, we're on a schedule of about a pandemic of major, noticeable, people give a shit size once every 100 years or so. Literally, that's what it comes, like every 100 years. In the meantime, we've been cutting down forests and trading animals for 100 years with no problem. Sometimes things are going to happen. Maybe put a little bit of regulation in there because those wet markets are fucking disgusting. Have you guys seen the pictures from those? They're fucking nasty. So if we're going to say that it actually came from the wet market, let's take the most charitable thing that they've given us. It came from the wet market in Wuhan. Okay, fine. Have some regulations to clear that all up. But the idea that you have to stop all of this because the pandemic was there. I mean, 100 years versus 1 bad year. Am I being too flippant with that?
No.
I just see way too many people, in my opinion, trying to use this to push agendas that have nothing to do with it. and I'm getting a little annoyed. Just a little bit. The cowboy, the guy who was riding his horse down the street.
Yeah.
He's been charged with animal cruelty, and they're probably going to have to put down that horse.
Which is just fucking terrible.
It really is.
Good job, asshole.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I do want to mention that guy again. Like I forgot his name. The gentleman I talked about earlier with the Tim Pool video.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really cool. Donald Trump retweeted this guy's video. Like, damn.
That's how I saw it.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't see it that way. It was recommended to me on YouTube, which I was surprised when I watched it, because when I saw Dear Tim Pool recommended to me on YouTube, I'm like, oh, this is gonna rip Tim Pool apart, ain't it?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he actually thanks Tim Pool for helping him see the light, is what he says. Whatever gets you to stop believing the bullshit and actually look at what's going on, which is what this guy is really getting at. Good for him. And I was watching several of his videos today, and there's one where he specifically talks about people who come at him. Why do you support Trump? You should hate him. And he's like, all right, why? They're like, well, because he's racist. Like, all right, give me an example. Like, well, I don't know all the examples. I'm like, but you can't give me one? And it's the same kind of thing I run into arguing with people all the fucking time. You guys, you make me defend Trump. I ran into it on Monkey in the Morning today. People making me defend Trump. If you guys would stop saying stupid shit about him, just be honest about what's going on. You can still not like Trump. There's things not to like about him. You can look at like him being a jackass to people. Fair enough. But when you actually are coming out and lying about him because you have an agenda, and it's things we can point to and go, yeah, it's an actual lie. Very fine people. It's an actual lie. One that's still being perpetuated today. 2 days ago, that was in the New York Times again. Stop telling lies, because you're not helping anybody. And I enjoyed anytime somebody at least wakes up and starts noticing that maybe things aren't as we're told they are. So good on that guy for, as he calls it, waking up. But that's all I got.
All righty. Dawg, what do you got?
Well, the one that made me chuckle a little bit today was the report that their employees at Spotify are threatening to strike if Spotify refuses to censor Joe Rogan. And he's got this, would they give him $100 million to move his podcast over there? And they are threatening to strike. And I thought, the comments underneath it talking about professionals work to make a living. They are working class. Strike weren't always about wages. They were about workers having a say. That can include business dealings. You're working for a company that is paying $100 million to somebody, and if he walks, that's a problem for your company. You might not have a job. So I didn't get that.
Real quick, thank you, Daryl Parnass. Have you seen Dan Crenshaw's new ad for Congress? I saw people talking about it. I don't know that I actually saw it myself, though.
Oh, that was actually another Flex Street, but it's really funny and well done. Sorry, Peter.
No, that's okay. No, that's fine. And just all the Amy Barrett stuff today. You can't get away from it. I really, really hope that this is a head fake. Not that I don't have anything. I don't have anything against Amy Barrett. I don't know anything, enough much about her, but just the fact that, I have a feeling that the reports that came out, how a lot of the reports that come out, well, the Washington Post has a scoop, and then everyone reports based on what the Washington Post reported on and didn't verify. I would just laugh my ass off if that's what happened here. Although it seems like she is the choice. But but also one thing I was watching on Twitter today and all day yesterday is they've had a live camera on Ruth Bader Ginsburg casket for the last 3 days. Have you noticed that?
No.
Yes, she was lying. Her casket was at the Supreme Court. Literally, a live feed from the Washington Post was on that 24 hours. And then today, when they moved it, the live feed from the Washington Post followed the hearse, taking it over to the Capitol building. And I'm like, why do you have a live feed on this woman's casket? She ain't going nowhere. But then on CNN, this is actually this is 12 minutes ago. As Justice Ginsburg lies in state in the Capitol today, we should not be racing forward. This is Chris Coons, Senator Chris Coons. We should not be racing forward with this nomination. What matters most is that healthcare is on the ballot and is in front of the Supreme Court. Yeah, whatever, Chris. Just, I don't know. They are so just so afraid of what Amy Barrett's going to do or whoever the nominee is going to do. But I guess I'm frustrated with the whole. If we don't have our way, we're going to change the rules like radically, because they've been talking about packing the court for a few years now, and it's just crazy. But anyway. And then the last one, something Ben Shapiro put on here. He found some article, we're raising our daughter gender neutral, but she only wants pink dresses. Where did we mess up?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we read that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just like the one reply here. Do you know who Dr. Karen Baker Thompson is? Dr. Karen Baker Thompson for comments. No. She's a parody account. It's just kind of like Tatiana or Titania or whatever that one is. The first reply to this was, normally I would never recommend this, but have you tried hitting her?
Nice.
So anyway, that's my limited. I've been running my mouth the entire day, so everything's been fucker to me, and I can't remember one thing from the next. So that was my favorite of the day, though.
All right. Thinking to call the driving 8-man got told today Charville was worse than Portland. Charville? I don't know where Charville is. Maybe I missed something. Thank you. Understatement. Monk, go to her viewing. If you can touch the hem of her garment, you'll be healed. Oh, geez. Yeah.
Scribbles, can I do one more humpetry? I forgot about this.
Sure, go ahead.
I get online and I see P-Dog streaming, but he's not. It had just ended. I'm like, well, shit. And I see Liberty's Dolls actually live. So I go over there, and that's where I saw the Dan Crenshaw video, which it's kind of like a Avengers Assemble, Justice League Assemble kind of thing. It's for Texas Republicans running for office. It's a really interesting video and a little shots at themselves for how serious they're being. Anyway, but when I first turned it on, they're talking about Jo Jorgensen, the Libertarian presidential candidate. She released her list of SCOTUS nominees who she would nominate for the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Dershowitz is on there.
Oh, Jesus. Good job.
For those of you who don't know Dershowitz, he's most recently been in the news for being specifically named as one of the people who touched kids on Pedo Island.
Yeah.
Did you guys already read the story about the judge in the Virgin Islands on that case?
I don't think we talked about it on the show, but I did read the story.
Oh, how they're going to release all the names.
Yeah, that's we're waiting for that to actually happen. Let's see. So, Pink Column meant Charlottesville, not I didn't know what Charville was, but Charlottesville. Charlottesville is worse than Portland. Well, I mean, it depends on what you how you define worse. Portland's been having that stuff go on for months and months and months. Charlottesville had a couple of very terrible days, at least at that time. I don't know what's been going on since then, but
Nothing's been going on in Charlottesville.
yeah. I got one more. I forgot one fucketry thing. So a CNN employee, I think like their communications czar or something, Matt Dornick, he tweeted this out today. It said, "Good to see at Acosta," i.e. Jim Acosta, "finally, 4 years later, getting the respect he deserves for protecting the role of a free press and defending his colleagues from the start. Here's at John Carl," who's another journalist, "revising his earlier criticism." And I don't have the whole thing in front of me, but John Carl said in the beginning of things when Trump was saying the press are the enemy of the people, which is not what he said, but John Carl apparently was not a fan of how Jim Acosta conducted himself at the time, but has since kind of sort of lukewarmly revised his opinion. He said, quote, "And I think that events that have played out since those early days of the Trump White House have in some ways vindicated Jim Acosta. I think that Jim was right to be outraged that the president was declaring a free press, an enemy of the people," which is not what he actually said. Anyway, after reading that tweet from Matt Dornick, giving cover or something to Jim Acosta, I said this. I said, "I, too, was concerned for Acosta's feelings in this matter. Hopefully he could find the strength to heal now that John Carl said complimentary things about him." And then within 2 minutes of me tweeting that out, Matt Dornick liked my tweet. And I took screenshots of these two things for posterity, and I said, "The power of the driest of sarcasms." I just thought that was funny. And
that was hilarious.
Really
he
funny.
Didn't get it at all, did he?
No. And it reminded me a lot of a real quick anecdote. Really reminded me a lot of one of my early sort of before I had a YouTube channel kind of satire things I did on Facebook before I stopped using Facebook. It was right around the time that J.K. Rowling was getting all this guff for using Native American folklore in her book because I know very little about the Potter universe, the Harry Potter universe, but it was a book set in America in like the early 1900s, and she extended the lore of her little wizard world to include North American folklore and stuff like that. And she was getting all this hatred for using Native American folklore without the permission of Native Americans and not being a Native American. How dare she culturally appropriate and everything else. And I put out a Facebook post at the time that said something to the effect of, you know, it was connecting to a story of someone criticizing J.K. Rowling, and I said they're absolutely right. It is unconscionable for J.K. Rowling to make use of some other culture's personal and private folklore to profit off of it as a white woman. I mean, obviously, I can't write any stories about vampires because I'm not Romanian. And the first few responses to that took me seriously. Like, even though the last line is meant to sort of show the ridiculousness of it, they responded like, "Yeah, you know what? It really is. She's really such a blah, 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 blah." And so, especially the first one that responded, I said, "So you agree that J.K. Rowling should not be allowed to write that book?" And they hedged because it suddenly dawned on them what exactly the implications were of their thing. Anyway, that's what this reminded me of. I thought, is he really so dense that he doesn't get that I'm making fun of Jim Acosta's hurt feelings? I guess, or at least in that moment.
Yes, he's that dense.
I guess so. So anyway,
works for CNN, so that's self-answering question.
Yeah, I suppose. But anyway, anything else, guys, or shall we get on to chat time?
Probably chat time's fine. I'm good.
All right. Oh, and also programming note, I just had it confirmed. Monday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing another Tandem TED Excellence with Kurt Metzger.
Cool.
We're going to be doing one on a male feminist or a male anti-toxic masculinityist, depending. Yes.
This is Friday, right?
Today is Friday.
It
of
is.
Monday.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so that means that hopefully, and I just need to get confirmation on this, Wednesday next week, I will also be having a Tandem TED Excellence, fingers crossed, because I think it's just a matter of making sure the day's open for him, with another friend of mine, which I won't say because I don't want to give it away or anything. But yeah, so I got to. And then Thursday, purportedly, I'll be doing another tandem with Satsu to do part 2 of how to raise a child in a racially unjust America. Because we got through part 1 the other day, and there's still like 45 minutes left of the original video to go through. So
God bless you. I watched that, and I don't know how. Well, I would have had trouble.
yeah, I mean, and Satsu, for all the damage, the mental damage that could be inflicted listening to those two, Satsu having a wingman such as it was for it, and also honestly, like I said, the reason that I thought of Satsu when I saw that is, raising a child. Who do I know that's raising a child right now, or has to look at it for the near future and everything? And his thoughts and insights on the whole thing were very helpful in getting through some of that stuff. But yeah, so anyway, I will have a full plate next week of scheduled stuff to do. So looking forward to that. I'll remind as things proceed. So anyway, with all that being said, guys, it is that time. Yeah,
I have one more actually. I'm pretty sure tomorrow I'm supposed to be on Becca's channel. I don't know when.
you're pretty sure.
Yeah, I should check that.
Are you fairly sure?
I'm fairly sure.
Okay. Well, as long as you're fairly sure, then everything will work out. But with that being said, guys, it is your time. If you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories, and many other words that start with CON that would apply, put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those so we know it's for us. If you have statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, too bad. So sad.
Okay, I just checked. It's next week, not tomorrow.
So you were fairly incorrect.
No, I was absolutely incorrect.
Okay. Motto Winter. Oh, lords, would y'all try some freshly made apple and cinnamon donut, a portion of thick cut of cured honey ham? I'm reading it as it's written, guys. And a hot neon blue cup of herbal tea. The donut, the cured honey ham, and the herbal. I mean, save for all the. Sounds fine, I guess.
What's the catch?
I would eat all those things. I'm just not sure they'd go well together. I think the ham would kind of ruin the rest.
I mean, if I had the ham, if there's a glass of ice water there that I can sort of clean my palate between the different parts, it'd be okay. Wait a minute for things to settle before I have the donut for dessert.
If there's some eggs with next to the ham, and I could make it a breakfast.
Cannibalistic Wizard. Similar vein. Try a brownie batter waffle, thick cut whiskey, smoked applewood bacon, 1 dozen quail egg omelet, fire roasted cheese, ladled mushrooms, and iced tea served in a stuffed duck water hide.
Okay, you're going too far.
I ain't eating none of that shit.
What is with you people? I mean, what is the genre of questions? We have to. What do we name this? Like ye random meal or something? Like we have to come up. We have to come up with something for this, because this is turned into its own little sub universe of the chat. Is these just completely disjointed and random food questions? Chat, come up with I don't know, like if we were doing a Jeopardy category, what would we call this genre of questioning to us? I'm not complaining per se. I'm just curious.
Fear factor.
Well, it's not really that. I mean, sometimes it's very eloquently put nasty stuff, or it's very plainly put perfectly reasonable stuff. I don't know, but it's always this like, would you try? So I don't know, like lordly libations or something. That's drinks or something. I don't know. I'll let chat come up with a name for this line of questioning. I'm curious. Will It Forge, Scribe Light, would you be so kind as to advise chat that Will It Forge has another art stream planned for 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow? Sure. And there you go. Frosted Glass. Are you prepared, Scribe? I have articles picked out especially for you. I don't even know what I'm getting myself into. So, I mean, are you going to read Medium articles to me? Because I'll tell you what, right now, I'm not reading nothing. I did my bit tonight. I went through the trenches tonight on this show. So I am the guest. I will sit back and you can do all the reading. You want me to react to articles? You want to read Medium articles for what? Go ahead. I'll be right there. Let's see. Sadistic Atheist. Have you guys seen the Dan Crenshaw campaign video? Yeah, we just talked about it. I haven't. I saw that it exists. Monkey actually watched it.
It's pretty funny.
Tack Alpaca. Are you a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson? I mean, I don't mind the guy. I don't make effort to go out of my way to find him or anything. But he seems like I mean, a more entertaining and personable Carl Sagan, I guess. What do you guys think?
I think he leverages his I'm a scientist to push some stuff that's questionable science. And I think that's dangerous. In what he knows, he probably knows very, very well. But I read some peer-reviewed research, and that means everything's falling to shit. Shut the fuck up, man.
I have no opinion.
Let's see.
But I'm not a fan. But I don't have an opinion because I don't pay attention to him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Crappy Fisherman. Monkey, do you think YouTube is holding down your channel because you have been at 26,000 subs for a long time?
No, that's a consequence of me switching to pretty much only streaming. Videos is how you grow a channel.
Yeah.
And without doing those, things just stagnate. That's just how it works.
King of the North, what are your thoughts on Putin having something on Trump making him dance like a puppet? Well, that's been the theory since 2015. Yeah.
That's nonsense.
There's actually new evidence that came out today. I did a story about this on my show this morning, that Putin actually had something on Hillary Clinton and also wanted Hillary Clinton to win. And that, in fact, it was some of those records that they hadn't disclosed that Adam Schiff had locked away in a safe. There's a whole lot of stuff coming out as of yesterday. So you might want to check some of that story.
See, Bastard B suggests curious culinary. I'd say culinary curiosity, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe that's the questionable category. Culinary curiosity. Let's see. Attack Alpaca. Here's a more simple food question. Would you try ice cream on a waffle? I believe I've had ice cream on a waffle, so that's easy.
More than once.
I don't like it. I don't like what it does to the texture of the waffle.
Becca Fairley says, or you could do more see, I'm reading what she's writing, my brain's saying the other thing. MSS News, even though she put MMS News, and cut down the question time, Scribe Light. I think there would be a revolt if I didn't allow for the last half hour to be question time, given format at this point, either in my own brain or in the audience.
You ever see when we go past question time?
I have, yes.
Oh, people get mad.
Yeah, I know. We've seen this is what happens when you set expectations and then you breach them, and that's it's the burdens of format. You know.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Sorry.
Okay. Nothing for you here. In this age of chaos and uncertainty, what can we as average people do to find some semblance of purpose in our lives, and what does that mean to you? Well, for Monkey, it's Medieval Dynasty.
Fuck you.
Oh, okay.
No, family, man. Hobbies, your work.
As I say, turn off the TV, turn off your computer, and go do something with somebody that you care about or just even like.
Indeed.
Find something to relieve the stressors of the world around you. I was talking to somebody the other day about ways to sort of deal with all of the madness that's going on around us all the time. And part of my best advice is, well, at a certain point, you got to admit that the only thing you have any control over is the quality of your own little existence, and you can't fix the world. Just do the best that you can to make your life as pleasant as possible. And if that means having to take a deep breath, shrug your shoulders, and just kind of laugh at the nonsense going on around you, that's what you got to do. And otherwise, just do everything you can to make it. If making your life easier means unplugging from news and everything else, do it. I mean, just try to remove as many sources of stress as you can. And if you can't remove them, just find a way to laugh at them. That's the best you can do. Backscan 3030. If you were in charge of Biden's campaign, what advice would you give him? Resign.
Retire.
Yeah. But let's set aside the obvious for a second. He has to settle on a snappy message. I mean, I know it's not the greatest politics in the world, doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but, and I was talking to Monkey about this the other day, for the life of me, I cannot, even though, and Monkey just told me the other day, you reminded me what it was, but in this moment, I don't even know what his campaign slogan is. Again, it's like, it's build better or something, right?
Oh, I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I saw a guy today on Twitter, I think it was. Joe Biden, it was a commercial. I was upstairs with Lady Monkey, and there was a commercial that came on TV. Joe Biden has a plan to fix pretty much everything. I'm like, name any part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that every time I see a Joe Biden tweet that talks about or hints at some kind of platform or something, it's constantly, I am the panacea to all problems.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, you could say that statement, and you would cover the spirit of everything he's putting out there. And I'm already inclined not to believe politicians when they tell me bullshit anyway. But that is the most bullshit of bullshit. You can't, no one will believe you if you say that, and I don't believe Joe Biden even a hint of it. So he's got to find, and it's too late. It really is too late at this stage of the game. We're 4 days out or 5 days out or whatever from the first debate. It's done. He could come up with the most brilliant campaign slogan tomorrow. It means nothing. So he has to come up with a better campaign slogan, and he has to actually make public appearances that matter, and he has to say things that actually have some weight, that are not Donald Trump is bad. They can't do that.
I think, well, I know why his brain has turned to pudding. Because if you listen to him talk about his time in the Obama administration as the vice president, Obama put him in charge of an awful lot of shit.
Everything.
And I think his brain has been completely used up, because he was in charge of everything that Obama put me in charge of that. Obama put me in charge of this. Obama put me in charge of this. Man, you've worn it out.
See the clip of Biden? Oh, sorry.
Real quick. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. Howdy, Lawton and chat hooligans. Hi, Dark Resurrect.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Hi there.
Did you see the Biden clip today where he was talking and he's like, I nominated so-and-so for this position. Clap for that, you stupid bastards.
When was that filmed?
I do not know, but that's funny as shit.
It says it was a resurrected clip, so I don't know resurrected from when.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I had never seen it. That was awesome.
It's harder evidence that Joe Biden said something derogatory to troops than anything they've been able to produce for Trump.
I mean, they could make a campaign ad on the Trump side, just talking about how, just a clip of Biden talking about how Trump said bad things about the troops, and then putting that clip right behind it.
Let's see. Dr. No, I thought it was no more malarkey, Scribe. What Joe Biden's campaign slogan? Yeah, I don't know.
Chad told us it was Build Back Better.
Build Back Better. So the triple Bs, that's what it was. And which is an exceedingly poor attempt to basically just clone Make America Great Again.
Yep.
I mean, it has the same sentiment, but it's not nearly as catchy.
Right.
Let's see. Motto Winter. Oh, Lords, would y'all rather vote for Cannibal, Timothy, and Jim Bob or Joe and Kamala? Don't worry, he only eats other people named Timothy. I would vote for neither pair because I'm not going to vote in the presidential because I'm not. Anyway, let's see. Sadistic Atheist. Does Biden have a record of fulfilling campaign promises from his Obama days? I honestly don't know because I mean he's never actually succeeded in achieving executive office except by being chosen by Obama. So whatever promises he might have made on the campaign trail were moot because it was Obama's promises that mattered.
Right. As the vice president, they weren't his promises. So anything that was done, credit goes to Obama, even if, I mean, according to Biden, Obama had him make everything happen.
Right. Now, on the local level, as a senator or whatever else, I have no idea what his record of success is in Delaware. So you'd have to, it is Delaware, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was getting mixed up because he's from one place, but he served. Yeah. Anyway,
he likes to talk about being from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
That's what it is. Yeah. He always talks about Pennsylvania. So my mind always thinks he was a representative or a senator there, but he's not.
And the other day he told a story about his dad being he was talking to a bunch of miners, and he was talking about how his dad was one of them. His dad was not a coal miner.
Right.
You know. And then I forgot. Oh, never mind, I forgot.
Frosted Glass. What are the odds RBG just sits up tomorrow and says, "Oh, I always look like that when I'm asleep"? Oh boy.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's why they got the camera on her. She should have died so long ago. They're not sure she's actually dead.
Are they hoping she rises after 3 days or something?
I think they're afraid she's going to rise.
Mata Winter. Oh, Lords, if you age veal, does it become beef?
Yes.
Oh, God. Thanks to everybody who's been retweeting the tailed feature video. Yeah, retweet this until Dave Mustaine sees it. That's right. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Because I know chat jumped at least once or twice since I've been doing this. Okay. Hermaeus Mora. Greetings, O Lords. I just got married this past Saturday. Any advice for a newlywed? Well, I defer to my esteemed co-host because I have no advice to give on marriage.
Who asked the question?
Hermaeus Mora.
Male or female?
I mean, Hermaeus Mora is an entity of many shades. So, but I'll for the sake of argument, let's just say it's male.
Learn this phrase. Yes, dear. That's it. That's all I got.
The advice I give to all newlyweds: let your pride go. That doesn't mean have no backbone, but understand there are times that it's okay to not fight about something. That's when our marriage really finally just gelled, is when I realized I don't have to fight over everything. Mm-hmm. It's okay for us to just disagree and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Choose your battles. Choose your battles.
Heaven forfend that was a more common thought in society today. Lamented Guide. Oh, Lords, as a Delawarean, I am pleased to tell you that I've seen less than 6 Biden-Harris signs from my many trips up and down the state. Well, how many Harris-Biden signs have you seen? I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
If I can, going back to that video I was talking about, the black guy who was thanking Tim Pool, he talked about how he saw a ton of Biden signs where he lives. So depends on where you are.
Tackle Pack, a monkey, will the Chargers beat the Panthers? P-Dog, will the Vikings beat the Titans? And Scribe, do you even care about any of this? Go in order of questioning. Monkey, will the Chargers beat the Panthers?
Given their performance against the Chiefs, they definitely have a chance, but they're the Chargers, so probably not.
P-Dog, will the Vikings beat the Titans?
I think the Vikings are going to offer this year, but every game will be close.
And Scribe, do you even care about any of this? No. That's easy.
That's how you can tell we're true fans. We want to root for our teams, but we know better.
You're honest. You're honest.
Oh,
Pyrus Creed, why can't RBG still sit on the court? It's not like being dead stopped her or the Democrats in general before. Dr. No, what are the chances that a third party will win 2020?
zero.
Less than zero.
There is no Ross Perot this time around. It would be funny if a figure popped up that could actually, like, if Bernie had gone independent the whole time, he'd probably still be in it. To some extent or another, he'd probably still be in it, and he'd probably be just enough to upset a Biden run for the office. But he's not. He didn't, so it doesn't matter.
There's no Ross Perot. There's no William Williams either.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly.
Okay. Except for my favorite figure of that era was Ross Perot's running mate, the Admiral. Who am I? Why am I here? That was the most perfect opening statement of any vice presidential debate ever in the history of forever. And unfortunately, he did not maintain that level of comedy throughout the rest of his thing. But that opening line will go down in history as my favorite political opening speech ever. Stansfield, Admiral Stansfield,
James Stockdale.
Admiral Stansfield. It's Stockdale. Yeah, James.
That was the greatest. Yeah, that was.
And he was a certified war hero.
Yep.
And that guy, he was. Wasn't he one of the guys that like survived with McCain or something?
Yeah, he was a POW if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
he's a POW, and he gets up to that stand, and all the press is there and everything, and he's standing up there next to Al Gore or whatever. And he's like, "Who am I? Why am I here?" And I'm like, great. It's just, I remember watching that live and laughing my ass off as a kid. It's great. Mata Winters, Scribe, why no married yet? You need old Jewish lady or Asian tiger mom to set you up. Why no married yet? Yeah, that's a long and painful story, but the short version is I obviously haven't found my match. So there you go. Let's see. We talked about that one. Massive Dynamics. Joe Biden. Who am I? Why am I here? Yeah. If Joe Biden said that, it would be it would not be comedy. It would
different meaning.
Whole different context.
They tried to play Stockdale up that same way. Like he's not. The guy was clearly fucking with them.
Yeah, and he wasn't a politician at all. He was not a practiced politician. So that explains why later on in his debate he didn't do so well. But Ross Perot picked a war hero that just wasn't a politician. And Faithless says the BDSM ? That is not a barrier to find a wife.
Oh God, no!
I know that for a fact from many people I know and have interacted with. So that would not be the reason. Let's just short version. Past experiences have endowed me with many a trust issue. That's all. I'll just give that. I've talked about some of those stories before, but
yeah, that's fair. You don't have to go into it.
Understatement. Scribe is looking for the red-headed sub of his dreams. Well, that's not untrue, I suppose. Kieverdam, Scribe, I thought you didn't want a match, referring to you telling us about your date and how it was like having lunch with yourself. Well, okay, opposites attract and all that. I don't want my 99% match. I told that story. That was bizarre. But the person who compliments you, not like gives you affirmation, although that's nice, but the other version of compliments, someone who you complete me, that kind of thing. That's the person I'm looking for.
And I'm not trying to sound conceited here, but me and Lady Monkey, we are on paper. There's no way we exist as a couple. In reality, she calms me. I help fire her up. It's exactly. Missing half in chat is said there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically it. Yeah, compliment with an E, not an I. Let's see. We got a couple minutes left. Sadistic Atheist. Could an incumbent president change his VP to run with when running for a second term, and has it ever been done? Yes, they can,
yes.
And it has been done.
Absolutely.
They could technically, I think, change horses midstream if they wanted to.
Well, Nixon did that.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, he had to.
He had to, but I'm just saying, you can, and you know.
Yeah, there was there was a long time thinking there at the end of the Bush's first term that he might dump Dick Cheney, but he didn't.
Should have though.
Should have, but didn't. Yeah, I mean, if Trump came out after the election was over with and said, "I'm going to bring on Nikki Haley as my vice president," I'd be like, "Well, that sets her up for 2024 right there."
Sure.
Well, and that's a lot of the thinking with Trump should have dumped Pence, but this is what you have to. Trump is loyal to people who are loyal to him, and
That
Pence
is
has been
also
loyal as a motherfucker.
Yeah, there is, and I know we're at the top of the hour real quick. That is one of the things that people like complain about, but honestly, at a certain level in life, and especially in that situation, loyalty is extremely valuable because it's very difficult to know who to trust when you're in a position of that much power, and you're obviously going to be manipulated by people who have proven that they're willing to go to the mat for you without any conditions or anything on it. Those people end up being more valuable to you than people who are talented. Talent goes by the wayside if you can look at somebody and say they're loyal, because then you don't have to worry about, or you have to worry less about them stabbing you in the back.
Pence has been ridiculously loyal, and you can see it when Trump talks about him.
Yeah,
he respects that very, very much.
Yeah, and people might criticize Trump for that and criticize Bush for it as well. And to a certain extent, loyalty shouldn't necessarily blind you to other problems, but at the same time, I can kind of understand it to that high of the mountain. But anyway, guys, we're at the top of the hour, and thus the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You guys are the greatest audience in the world. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the most well-behaved in the whole of the internet. And everybody who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. It'll all go towards horrible things I'll put in my body, like goldfish, like the crackers, I mean, Jack Daniels and Dr. Pepper, which I will be purchasing tomorrow on my shopping trip with my sister. Okay, so here we go down the litany. After this, over on 2 Cents Plus, you can find Ranting Monkey and Satsu 2 Cents playing Raft and trying to survive on the high seas as they make a wooden boat platform thing progressively. P-Dawg, where can people find you next?
Well, I think I am going to do a stream tomorrow morning. I'll have a special edition of Saturday night KNIGHT live, around 10 o'clock Eastern. And if you're thanks to I think 6 or 7 people subscribed to the channel while you've been watching. So thank you to those people, and anyone else. I'm here. You can do it too.
Yeah, and link to P-Dawg's channels in the description, along with his Twitter address. So go check those out, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Right after this, over on Frosted Glasses channel for the Corner show at just half an hour, or a little less now, at 8:30 Pacific time, 11:30 Eastern time. I'll be there, being subjected to whatever I'm about to be subjected to. So you can find that out over there. And tomorrow I may be doing a TED Excellence around noontime. Keep an eye on my Twitter for that. Depends on all the timing and scheduling. And again, another promo, this next Monday at noon, I'll be doing a tandem TED Excellence with Kurt Metzger once again. And we'll be going over some male feminist type material for TEDx. Anything else, guys, to mention before we split?
Just thanks for watching. Oh, yeah. Go sub to P-Dawg. But other than that, no.
P-Dawg.
Scribe, thanks for having me on. I glad I could fill in, and always fun to be here. Thanks, and thanks everyone in the chat.
Yep, and P-Dawg, thank you so much for filling in for Satsu and joining us. Congratulations again on your 1,000 subscribers, heading up in the ranks of things, which is good.
Well learned.
Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, be on Monkey's channel at the regular time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Lords of the Night. But with that, Monkey, P-Dawg, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
A pleasure.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And getting out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. Yes, Monkey's very excited to say sadomasochism when that's around. Today's secret word is goggles. But the question is, are they your judgment goggles? That's a callback to a TEDx